Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to ESL One, Battlefield 4 Fall Finals for 2014. It sounds like there are 3,000 mad Battlefield 4 final fans in the audience. Not quite 3,000 fans, but we thank you for your noise. Jason is back with me at the desk. We've moved on to Group B. What are you laughing about?
Just Honka.
Honka,
yeah,
he's
our stage
great.
manager. He's unique. He's a good guy.
Yeah, our stage manager could easily steal the show with a rap at some point, at any time.
He was a professional rapper.
Absolutely. Great guy. Group B now. Pretty convincing. Well, no, not pretty. Stunningly convincing by the team that everyone had ruled out as being lazy, unprepared, hadn't played the new maps, out of shape, can't play online, couldn't possibly defend their title. Clean sweep in the first game against a very good, useful team in Infamous. 91 and 123 tickets, the best so far of the finals.
In my defense, Drunks did say that they haven't practiced, in the past. I will say that.
I wasn't actually slating you, just generally people have been
I think all of us agreed.
Said to me.
Yeah, all of us agreed that, they didn't practice a lot, but they really proved us wrong there. They did fantastic in that game. But obviously coming to the next potential match, the winner of this one, PKD and SK, could be a little bit more of a tougher battle for them, but they look great. What else is there to say?
Yeah, and moving on to this match, actually, we'll talk about PlanetKey Dynamics first. Big news for them is that they have a talisman in every way, shape and form. Safe is the man when it comes to motivation. He's the man when it comes to noise. He's the man when it comes to getting his teammates to play the way he wants it. But how difficult is it for him to move across from NYM, his friends, his family, effectively, and come into a new team and deliver the same kind of result?
It's got to be tough. Considering he's no longer doing the same role, depending on whether or not he enjoyed it or got tired of it, Mutual Makers will determine whether or not he's happy now, not being the main strat caller for him. But I feel like he might not be the main voice of the team, but he'll still pump you up when you need it. He'll still scream in your ears and make you deaf whenever it's required. And I think that's a nice little sigh of relief for him, not having to worry about the strategy. You talk about other games, for instance, Counter-Strike, the famous NIP team, their main caller moved to someone else, and it gave him some time and opportunity to really relax and try to focus on the gameplay. And I wonder if that's the same thing that's going to happen for him.
Yeah, in terms of the lineup for PlanetKey Dynamics, who else stands out for you as a key man?
Jansen. I want to say him. He just, every time we ever see him play, I feel like he's always picking up 1, 2, 3 kills, and he's always making the nice flanks when it's required in these battles when they try to hit these flags. And I feel like he's the man to watch, but outsider as well. He's the caller for the team. He's the guy that's the voice for them now, and he has to be louder than safe, and that's not easy to do for anyone out there.
He's going to buy himself a megaphone or something.
Yeah, he's going to need something like that to really help out with that. And I guess outsider would have to be the key man to watch, just because he needs to control his team, even with the new addition. Safe has to adapt to the team, but the team has to adapt to Safe as well to kind of make things really flow.
Okay. We always talk about PlanetKey Dynamics as the underdog whenever they come into these LAN finals. I don't know why we do that anymore, really, because they always seem to reach the semi-finals, regardless of whether we put them down as underdogs or not. But the fact is, they remain the underdogs in this group. It's a tough group as well. All 4 teams have got a chance of beating each other, whereas Group A may be a bit more defined. Moving on to SK Gaming, great to have that name in Battlefield 4. Fabulous esports service that they've been over the last 15 years. It's incredible to think that they've been around for 15 years, almost as long as I have. And yet, here we are with the potential, without wanting to put PlanetKey Dynamics down, the potential of having SK versus Fnatic in the next round. It's a delicious prospect.
If this was a different game, we'd be calling it the El Clasico.
Yeah, absolutely. It was the El Clasico before it was League, in fact. So it's been around for a long time. It's a great lineup. These guys were GC before. We saw them last season playing very well, actually starting to improve and becoming that kind of a force to be reckoned with, if you like. And then suddenly, it turns out that this season, they are on a hot streak. 3 out of 3 in the last qualifying cups. Are they the real deal, I guess, is our biggest question. Now they've got a big brand behind them as well.
I think so. We've seen in the past, the problem was, it's like last season they didn't play in one cup that would have gotten them into the groups to potentially get their chance to the playoffs. They kind of got a little bit lazy, I guess you can say. Now it feels like it might be like the year, the season of SK coming into this, but they still have a lot of hard teams to beat, and they still need to really prove themselves on LAN, which is another really key factor since they haven't been into the playoffs yet throughout any of the seasons. I think it'll come down to, if they keep their composure. We've seen some teams, rise and play extremely well. We saw Legionnaires earlier on when they finally, got that first half victory. They were finally able to just soar through and pick up a 2-1 win. I feel like if they get comfortable, they're probably the strongest team in Group B.
Okay, why have they been so good this season?
I think Lauren will point it out perfectly. She always talks about how they're really aggressive and they catch you off guard. You know, most teams will sit back and relax and kind of play defensive, but they will non-stop, time after time, bring aggression to you. And most teams really can't cope with that because the caller, I mean, you're the main voice of the team. You're supposed to tell everyone where to go, what to do. If you're not used to someone attacking over and over again and kind of making you play retroactively, then you're going to have a really tough time. I think that's really where they excel.
Okay. Prediction for this game?
I hate to say it, but 2-0 for SK.
2-0 for SK, okay. Very interesting as well, because I wonder what the community think. I'm
curious, yeah.
Yeah, so let's find out. You can make your predictions right now by heading over to esl-1.com/battlefield. Jason got that wrong earlier. Did get it wrong. Got it totally wrong.
I don't know.
Defense? Oh, defense.
It's SK.
Oh, right. Okay.
I mean, can you ever vote against them? I mean, I know we're in Germany and PKD is a German organization, but it's SK.
All right, okay, so Jason's going with SK. If you want to go with SK, head over onto the website right now, make your prediction as well. And if you want to disagree with him and go with PlanetKey Dynamics, because let's face it, every time we back against these guys, they come up trumps and win. You're also entitled to do that as well. But don't forget the surprise on the line, and predictions will carry on tomorrow as well. Keep the social media coming as well. We do read your tweets on the official ESL channels and on Facebook as well. And make sure you keep using the hashtag #ESL1. Time to head into our second game in Group B now. It's a big one between PlanetKey Dynamics and SK Gaming.
It certainly is a big one, Paul. I think the main problem we're going to have is whether or not SK, this is their first game, don't forget.
Yep.
SK, obviously, I mean, let's be fair, this is both of those players, both those teams' first games, but SK always struck me as a team, when we were casting them at Gamescom last year, they always struck me as a team that needed that warm-up period. I remember this particular game, me and you were casting, and GC, it took a good half, I think they were 60, 70 tickets down, and suddenly they just woke up, and the GC that we see online appeared, and I think that's probably going to happen again.
Yeah, they, as you said, they need that warm-up time. It shows in their online results. When they get time to warm up, they basically went 13-1 through the cup stages, as Paul said, winning 3 out of the 4. But they had a shaky start in Cup number 1. They lost out to MHSV, which is, you know, it shows there is a weakness there. Whereas Fnatic, back in the day of their flawless run, didn't drop that. So they're certainly a capable side, but even then you go to the group stages, they lost out once to MYM there. So there is that little thing. Maybe it's a warm-up thing. Maybe on that day they just didn't get that half-an-hour prep time or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's possible.
Whatever it is with them, they've got to make it click. Whatever they need to make, you know, fall into place, they need to find that. They need to make sure it's there. And I know they've been warming up. I bet, like every other team we'll see walking around here, you know, getting a drink of water or, you know, what have you. They have just been sat on those PCs playing it out because everyone's tipping SK now to be the team to beat. Fnatic said it. They said they're the ones up there with probably your MYMs. They're the team that's still playing in and out daily, weekly, every time they can. So them being able to transfer that to an offline environment is vital. You can see it there. They've got a big organization now to represent, extra dimension of pressure to add. And then you throw it over to what really comes into account for PKD. I was talking to Safe just before this tournament. We were just kind of in a discussion as to where they are, how they feel he's going to be doing in this lineup, you know, what sort of things he's keeping in mind. And he said the biggest threat that they have for other teams is they've got nothing to lose. They don't have to worry about anything because no one expects them to do something phenomenal. They've got Safe now, who, as we now know, we tell you time and time again, is such a vocal player. He can bring so much of a level to it. But even he says that, you know, they're not performing as well as they should be. They're still a little far away from where he'd like them to be, but they're still a dangerous team. We saw they went into the finals before. They've been there in the previous, you know, ESL One finals. They've got that far. Let's not put that, you know, away from them. They're still a strong side, and map choice will be huge. SK, good on your Zavods, good on your kind of aggressive French-style games.
Ooh, okay.
And I think they'll play to that. Maybe keep in Locker, maybe keep in Zavod, and then throw in a Paracel Storm or a Propaganda.
Now, I think you're probably right. I think Paracel Storm is a big possibility, especially as we see Lamfini and Dawnbreaker. Dawnbreaker is no surprise to me. Pretty sure we saw it was PKD immediately getting rid of Dawnbreaker, and Propaganda gets eliminated.
Zavod's
so that's the two new maps. Well, I mean, yeah, that's our 3. We'll see Paracel as our first map. That's actually interesting. We usually see Paracel as that 3rd map decider. It's kind of a fallback for a lot of teams, as Zavod being our 2nd and Locker our 3rd. So that's our 3 maps. Shake of hands as they go back to their seats and prepare themselves. As you see a bit of Movember there on the SK side of things. Very nice, Tash. as he's going to be getting ready for this one. I'm thinking about the map selection. Parasail Storm, talk to me about this map, Lauren, because this is a map which I've always thought as a everyone can play it, but nobody's a master of it. That's how it's always struck me.
See, funny enough, I look back and it was originally some of the French teams who broke down the aggressive side. So they like to play the engineer class because prior to that point, so let's throw our minds right back to when Dig was in form, you know, the Finns were doing well. They worked out this really nice crossfire that just set it up real well. So the only way to break that was to then blow up the buildings, take it down to a ground level. That's what the French sides did. That's what GC did back in those days, now SK. So they know how to play that style. But then those other teams like MYM who kind of embodied everything that worked. So you'd have, you know, your safer players, you'd have your more aggressive players, and they had this nice little, kind of play mixture style. So it's going to be a hard one to call because looking at it, I'd say that SK probably are the more well-rounded side, but a little bit more extreme on the way they play personality-wise.
Yeah, I think that's a nice summary. I think no, I was just kind of mulling it over, and you're right. Personality-wise, I think, well, both in their gameplay, all of SK kind of have a very individual side to them. I think, yeah, there's personalities to the way they play. I'm looking maybe towards Jika, Fraud, players like that. They can be very good in those scenarios. And I'm just gonna try and find. Have we seen Outsider already? He was the man adjusting the microphone, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the person I wanted to highlight and just mention. Of course, he is the in-game leader for PlanetKey Dynamics. He does a fantastic job at that. Obviously, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how well they handle the kind of change in language, because these guys used to communicate in German. And now they have someone, they have Safe, sorry, who has to communicate in English, and so it's a bit of a jumble up. I mean, it's a difficult, but it's not like it's a insurmountable issue. I mean, for example, I'm just going to a completely different game, but I mean, you've seen teams in League of Legends who can barely speak English to each other, but that's the language they communicate in. So it's not the huge determining factor, but I mean, we've been tuning into TS all day, and it really is a big deal.
See, I agree to a point, but other games don't depend so heavily on constant communication. You can pre-plan enough in other games that it's not so adaptive on the fly, whereas in Battlefield, it's going to be constant information coming in between it. So for me, they've got to keep that in mind. It could make a change. I think we're almost ready to get this one started up here. Actually, no, tell a lie. Not just yet. But yeah, I think communication could be a point. I'm not sure how much that's going to hinder them, especially when you look back as Safe was an in-game leader in his last roles, in his last teams. He's always been very vocal about it. To now play a more passive position within a team, to be the one to have to listen to others, that also could be a point here. You know, I'm not sure how that's going to pan into effect, but SK are definitely the team to beat, and maybe PKD can get close.
Yeah, I think Jason, what did Jason call it? A 2-0 to SK?
Yeah, I think so.
And I don't know. I think I maybe have got my eye a little bit on PKD. They do have something. They have got like kind of spark. I know I've been kind of guilty of saying spark and shine, but they do. They have this something.
So Rihanna does the same, don't you?
Yeah,
worry.
exactly, like a diamond. But I mean, these guys, they are very, very much a team that can surprise. And I mean, to be fair to MHSV. To MHSV's credit, that is a tough team name. Lots of hard letters, I'm telling you. But yeah, to their credit, that is a really... I'd outlined them and PKD to surprise. MHSV didn't.
And one other small factor I'm going to throw in there that I only learned very recently was that SK obviously provide gear for you to play on. So a mouse mat, keyboard, mouse.
Yeah.
SK have never really played with it before. They got this a week prior.
Oh, God.
So they've had the boot camp to get adjusted, but that's a lot of adjusting to do. When you're, an FPS player, your peripherals are pretty much, an extension of you. They're very much part of it. And then to have to switch up and change, at these finals, that could be a big problem. Not a problem, but it's certainly going to be a factor, because when you're playing at this level, the last thing you want to be worrying about is your peripherals or anything around that marker. You want to just feel comfortable, play your game. And then when that sort of change, small things change, we could see individuals maybe not hitting that one shot that could have changed something. So keep it in mind, SK aren't quite to the same point they were online because of that small difference.
Oh, well, I mean, you've already said it there. Small difference maybe, but to these players and to this genre of game, it's a huge factor. I'm one of those people who's just so fussy with my peripherals.
Yeah,
you know?
if someone touches it, I get really angry.
Yeah, but I'm one of those guys. Like, oh, my mouse mat's an inch to the left. What's going on here? So, I mean, yeah, in a LAN environment, it can all change. You're absolutely spot on. And not even just peripherals, just, I mean, seating position, everything becomes a factor. And you don't realize it until you're sat there like, something feels wrong.
This is not okay.
Yeah, this is not right. And you just hear people saying that, and you're like, what are you talking about? But once you're in that situation, you can completely understand. But SK, they do look cool, calm, collected. They've, I think I spoke to one of them just prior to coming on to hit the screen, and I was talking about them, and I was saying, hey, where do you see this one going? Do you see yourselves this being a challenge for you? Do you think this is going to be a real struggle? And they said, quite confidently, 2-0.
Really?
I mean, their English isn't that fantastic.
But I'm sure you could have got 2-0.
2-0. I was like, yeah, I understand what's going on there. So there's some confidence for them. But, I mean, PKD, they have all to prove and nothing to lose right here.
Yeah, that's it. And do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they do well in the first half here. I can see PKD doing well throughout this, but it's down to that first half. They need to get that confidence high, and they're a team that kind of thrives in that moment where if everything goes right, they really spiral from it and they kind of get to this brilliant point. Whereas SK, I don't know, they're consistent enough to be expected to do well, but I want to see them really pushing themselves here. They've got to come out guns a-blazing, proving that all that hard work they put in will actually pay off. Because other teams, they're saying SK is the one to beat. They are the team that should win this if, Fnatic don't turn up in form. It's going to be SK. So SK need to stand true to that and say, okay, we are the new kids on the block. Yeah, we are going to take that title. And, we're not going to take no for an answer. So I can imagine every other team's eyes are glued to this.
Yeah, this is really interesting for the teams that aren't currently playing, just because they get an insight into SK. They get an insight into how they play, especially in a different environment that they're currently in, and they also get to see what, if any, tricks they have up their sleeve, which perhaps the SK have been saving for the offline event.
Well, we'll find out very soon. The teams are getting ready. Parasol Storm is on your screens, and we are going to have a cracker of a game. If any time PKD has to turn it, it's got to be now. And I think this might be the map for them to do it on.
Okay, so not Last Chance Saloon, but it's a proving ground. That's what it is for PKD. They've got a lot to prove, and going into Parasol Storm as map number 1 is how they plan to prove. A quick roster rundown as we're in a 20-second countdown. We have Hysteria, Inozi, Safe, Outsider, and Jansen on the PKD side of things, and on SK, Frod, Jika, Core, Zia, and Hexis. And that's your roster. With a 10-second countdown, Lauren, where are they going to go at the start?
Looking at the amount of engineers in the SK camp, I think they're going to be playing a fast, aggressive, loose game, just going to try and take down as much of the map as possible. And let's see what they go for. There goes the first bit of cover then on towards the B side. They maybe want to put a player up in there, watch over on towards B, take away the cover from the singular building as well, and look to dominate from the retake rather than the immediate challenge. And here we go, Outsider for PKD will be looking up as well. And the 2v2 out on A. So a bit of an even spread all in all, but SK not picking up the initial kind of battle there, actually losing out a fair bit. And, well, if Hysteria can do the damage now onto that last remaining player by A, he could do some real work. They've lost out on C, which is a problem, but they're picking up on A, and B is also theirs to take. So PKD can turn this one and get 2-1 in their favor.
They can, and they looks like they will. SK do lose out on B. A and B both neutralized at the moment. A starts coming up blue. We can see B as well, courtesy of Safe. He picks that one up, and PKD, as they let everything kind of fall into place, they let the A and B sites looking pretty locked down right now. The only issue is going to be in that middle SK building, but it looks like that's been neutralized already, as has Frod. 3 men falling. The SK side with only 1 man still standing. It was a near squad wipe, just Zia remaining as he approaches the B flag from C. Obviously, those spawns are going to be so distant right now. As 143 to 133, the lead begins to grow.
And I bet that SK are thankful they took that amount of engineers early on, because basically the cover the PKD would be sitting in now to keep them locked down towards C has been removed, so Outsider needs to keep on the move. He's got to keep fluid, he's got to keep in their faces here and pick up some kills. He's getting the tags, but finally the frags come in. Zaya goes down, but this is a very strong start from PKD. They already have a player out towards C. I said if this is going to go well for them, it's got to be on this half, and they're doing the damage.
You've hit the nail on the head. If PKD start strong, have the momentum that they generate online, this is where they're going to perhaps knock SK down a peg or two. Hexis goes down already. C site's over. This is a trip cap that, for some reason or another, SK cannot stave off. The bleed is going, and it's heavy. 40 tickets, or nearing that already, lost for SK Gaming. They're going to go into damage control around this B site. They're going to be bringing that monument back under control. But over on the A site, you see a 2v2. Make it 3v2 in favor of PKD. The numbers favor them, but can the flag? The A site still looking good for SK at the moment. See Hexis battling out in the container. Gets one. Jika there by his side. Looks like Jika can get the response frag. He does. Jansen did a bit of damage, but was it enough to secure the A site? Those trenches, such a dangerous site to try and hold, especially when there's just a swarm of players. Corey Yu, one of the few men still standing, and he looks like he's going to come into contact with another. It's Outsider and another. Somebody, he's just adding heads to his belt, and very little to show for it.
Yeah, indeed. Walking away with A finally, but the amount of bodies they had to put towards that was huge, and they're just not doing well in kills right now. They are trailing quite heavily. PKD in a good position now. This is nice. I love seeing this building being played to watch that cross up towards C. It looks like PKD maybe want to re-challenge on that B flag. They do have a couple of players within the buildings trying to start the cover, as Outsider does let loose with that little bit of a rocket flying towards him, and that's the power of the CZ. And funny enough, the thing that used to really suit PKD was the fact they could play fast and loose and a little bit slow and cautious at the same time. And it's paying off perfectly for them. They're really locking this down, and they might just get this B flag pushing up. Finally is the two players from SK, but it took their damn time.
Yeah, and time is of the essence in this one. You mentioned PKD needs a strong start. They've had it. But SK Gaming, if ever there was a team that has no issues under pressure, it's SK. We've seen crazy comebacks from them in the qualifiers for this one. And I don't think it's out of reach for them once again. Obviously, no amazing comeback needed just yet. They do have the AB hold, and those tickets are going to be falling away from them. It's Safe looking to change that. Has the Ace 23 as a weapon quite commonly seen in the hands of Safe. And, well, pretty much everyone else as well, unless you're looking at maybe Punch Roll or someone along those lines. But still, PKD, they're looking a little passive here. You can see we've been with Safe, on board with Safe for quite a while, and very little to show for it. He's just hanging out in those buildings between B and A. Obviously, very key buildings to control both of those sites. Nice play in the meantime from SK, opening up in those buildings, trying to control this B site. Such a tough one to keep control of. I mean, nades and rockets actually are, key. You've already seen those being key, and he's once again Outsider's throwing one of his own. He's trying to control this B site. Outsider trying to get the spot. They're struggling to pick up the frags, though. Looks like actually Hysteria did the work for him, and that B site to start flying the PKD flag instead.
Yeah, and I want to hear how this is going for the SK boys, because they're going to be on comms, and let's see how this sounds.
Sounds like they are in such deep concentration, they aren't speaking.
Lower, middle.
One mid.
That's Safe.
Sniper in middle,
One down.
Sniper spotted. Sniper.
Three guys.
That's two down. Sniper tree.
Still, they're going for B.
Sniper to B.
I'm watching it.
One at me, please. One at me. One.
I spawn C.
I'm low on B.
You can go, Inno. Ich bleib hier.
One B down.
Nice.
Nice. Sniper. Watch out B house. Got him.
I got speed.
Nice.
One behind C.
Two coming C house. There's sniper. They're racing lower B house. Two guys.
They're coming sniper, C house to C.
Help C.
I spawn C. One coming C.
There's one more. Two guys C.
I'm down. One jump
One
house.
A
One
down.
jump house.
D down.
One more.
Two guys A.
You can see there is some serious concentration. That is the Safe effect. Everybody is shouting because he is shouting. He's getting that team behind him, and it's working. 87 to 67 now. PKD have the ticket advantage, and SK are struggling. Don't forget, I did mention the GC effect where they seem to always need that warm-up. This could be their warm-up period, or it could not be. They could have had that already, and they could be giving it their all here. And PKD are starting to raise a stop sign, 82 to 65, but with an AB hold in SK's favor. How long can they control it? Because every time we have seen those two sites in the hands of the Chinese side, very swiftly we see a PKD swarm.
Yeah, and that's a lovely spot, excuse me, from Core then, just in the trenches. And this is a problem now. PKD, they had the advantage for some time, but now they've let it slip a little, because basically once that cover gets removed, it's very hard to have a static 2-to-1 hold at any point, because there's no cover to sit in, so you're constantly rotating. And while that's great for a fast and loose team, when you lose control, it's very hard to regain it. So I know he's going to go for the long rotate around the back, but that's going to take some time. And he may be like hunted down by Jika if he spots out where they are. So the lead that was built up by PKD is now going to be dissolved pretty much to nothing. And it's extraordinarily hard to break back into this. Regardless of how much of a good team you are, SK are in the position to make it hurt.
Yeah, and it looks like they've found what hurts and they're pushing on that wound. Eight? What am I talking about? A and B. Kind of sounds the same. But yeah, looking to push on towards the C site as well. I don't think Outsider's going to be too happy with that one. Might have something to say. Looks like he gets the spot. Can he get the frag? Oh, he's connected, but he can't finish it off. Looking to destroy the environment around core. Picks up the frag quite nicely. And that's actually quite a nice rocket. That's opened up the vision towards the B site from C. But that trip cap's ticking away. Can PKD make them pay for this? That trip cap can always be a risk. You can see the two sites going back in favor of the team that just got trip capped against. And Nosy for PKD is looking to make that happen. Catches the heels of Zia in those trenches as he's going to be heading straight back towards C to back up his teammate. In the meantime, though, that B and A hold has returned for PKD. Is it too little too late, though, Lauren? 35 to 56.
Definitely not. If PKD get this back and hold it for a short while, they could do some real work here. So let's see if they can keep hold of B. It's going to be going back and forward quite regularly, but they need to hold it for maybe a minute. Less than that even. You might get a very close score here. But SK can still throw bodies at this, but they're losing out in that sort of battle. So for me, PlanetKey Dynamics have an edge, but they just need to get this site. They need to lock out a 2-1, and this is perfect. If they can create the defensive line in half of this map, they're in a good way, but Zaya's moving in.
Yeah, he's moving in, and there's no one there to receive him. Not a defensive player in sight. He is taking the long route, which actually is in favor of PKD if they get a wiggle on, if they make a move towards this A side. Doesn't look like they are. In fact, no, I'm telling a Porcupine finally. Oh no, that's actually Hexus, his teammate. So the A site is going to be going over. PKD don't have a response just yet. Looks like Inosi is looking to set one up on C. But in the meantime, Safe just kind of keeping what they've got. Finally, they're going to realize the A site's going over, and I think that may be a bit of an issue.
Yeah, I think they expected the northwest spawn to come in, hence why they put 2 to 3 players around this side. But already there was the northeast spawn, so they've lost out on A there just due to a little bit, not necessarily unlucky, but you know, putting faith in a call that wasn't quite correct. So Inosi finally gets the northeast spawn, but I feel that may be too late. That one choice to maybe focus on the wrong area may have just cost them the 2-1 and about 10 to 20 tickets. And with only 20 left, this is probably one of their last real chances to get a hold. Yeah, you're right. I think they have about 1, make it 2 pushes left in them for this first half. And I think they're going to have to choose wisely. Right now they are picking up the C site, but it's going to be a battle. Z is just on the outside, on the outskirts, looking to get a pick. Does get tagged up, but I don't think he's going to go down without a fight here, as his presence alone is stopping that C flag from being capped over. The court is still untouched. Finally, Outsider is going to be left alone with enough time to cap that one over. But that is going to stave off the bleed for just a short period of time. You can see 3 members from SK charging in. Outsider looking to stop this, looking to stave off this assault. And I don't think he's going to be able to do it just yet. He has no one to back him up, and Zia on the outside. Very nice play from them. That's going to once again tip the scales and start perhaps the bleed once again. With only 14 tickets left, though, SK Gaming starting to perhaps emerge with a slight lead in the first half. Yeah, I think Janssen could have been a little faster out towards A then. He had the opportunity to get out here when there was 1 player defending rather than 3. However, a close game to start with. I think that's good news for everyone else in this group. I can imagine Fnatic are pretty comfortable seeing the fact that SK being brought down to about 28 tickets. That's pretty big there. PKD are the underdogs by some margin. Even though they have some good players, you know, that is a very strong half. If they can maybe replicate that first bit, they're in a good spot going forward.
They are in a great spot. 26 tickets is your scoreline as that one wraps up. And, I mean, I don't think PKD are going to be too upset with that one. Bearing in mind, this is, of course, their debut here. They're obviously, they're not no stranger to the stage environment. They did fantastically in Gamescom, I think finishing with a 3rd, 4th place finish. But here, alongside a team they've definitely faced before, I don't think that's too much of an issue. That's not an insurmountable amount. It is still obviously in favor of SK, and these teams may be closely matched, but that 26 tickets could very well be the determining factor in this first map.
It definitely could be, but PKD's individuals really played very well, and Safe on 15 to 10, as is Hysteria. Outsider 13, you know, Janssen 13. They're all playing very well, whereas it was pretty much just core stepping up for SK, but it wasn't the individuals there. SK just looked better as a team, but maybe that peripheral change-up has certainly stunted what they had going for them. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see this getting close again and then being defined by just SK playing a little smarter is basically what happened.
Yeah, SK played smarter. You're right, it wasn't one of those instances where FPS 101. We didn't have to say that because both teams were hitting the shots that they were set up for. So, yeah, in terms of skill, if skill was pure aim, which of course in Battlefield it isn't, but yeah, if it was just down to aim, I think both these teams are entirely levelly matched. However, this game is about so much more than that. Lauren, of course, knows much more about that than I do, but it's about timing, it's about positioning, and it's about rotations, which, of course, the amount of times we were watching Legionnaires, we were saying, what are they doing? This isn't how we play. This isn't what we do. And so we're so used to seeing this constant flexibility, this constant rotation between C, A, basically setting kind of a precedent for if you leave a site alone, we cap it. And that doesn't seem to happen, obviously, when we're watching Legionnaires, but that's in the past. And, of course, in this one, I think every team has a real idea of what the other is going to bring to the table. There's no surprises. It's all about what you bring and when you bring it. We have about 30 seconds on that countdown, Lauren, but why don't you walk us through what you're expecting to see in this one?
It's all about that beginning between these two. We're going to have outside of the man you can see there in the middle, in the upper screen, playing PKD, running the engineer class, and then on the other side, outsider, kind of Corey Yu, doing the same thing. So both of them going to be doing that kind of crazy play on this one. I'm looking to see how well that goes, but we're going to have to wait and see if that really pays off for them here, because we saw that this kind of played into both teams' hands. But I want to see who's going to go for that first engineer-style kind of pickup.
Let's find out then as we kick off. They are running the engineer class. We'll see if they're trying to level those buildings a bit different to perhaps how they approached the first one. But no, the battlefield lays silent. No rocket's been released. And as I say that, a chunk is taken out of that right side building as they're making their way towards the monument. They can destroy as much cover as they possibly can. First exchange goes in favor of SK though. They pick up that opening frag. It was Jacob Man behind the magic, and he's looking to get a second here. Lands a tag and a frag. He's doing such good work already, just working his way around the site. He's brought it under control alone, as well as 2 frags.
Yeah, and I like this play, sending Xayah back to slow down the retake on towards C, whereas they're still pressuring A as well. That's nicely done. Janssen here in the trenches, but this respawn could cause trouble. Safe in a position like this can threaten B and then help reinforce A as well. So Safe is a big player in this one. Let's see what he can bring to the plate.
Yeah, he's a huge threat, and he's a threat which certainly has the aim to back it up. Look at that, lands the tag. He's going to have to back up with that one, but that's wise. He's not going for frags, he doesn't need to. Suppressing fire is all you need to do. He's keeping them down, stopping them from pushing the site, and with his presence finally eliminated by Xayah, with the X-23 perhaps prevailing in that aim game, we see the A and C sites still coming up blue.
Exactly. SK, somehow managing to hold on towards C. I'm surprised PKD did not put too much more pressure towards it. They have the B flag, so you'd want to pick up something to complement it well. And I feel that C kind of does that job for now, when there wasn't that many players there to defend it. But still, Xayah picking up a nice little cheeky kill onto Janssen as he tried to maybe work towards that C point. But all in all, this is looking like SK are pulling the lead quite drastically so far on this side. And hell, they might even make a trip cap out of this one.
Yeah, they've got the potential here. You can see Frod is making a move for B, but the question is it going to cost them anything? He's going pretty uncontested on B. In the meantime, nothing really happening on A and C. You can see, they're considering it. Finally, PKD waking up, realizing that B may be a bit of an issue, bit of an uphill struggle, instead actually going up the hill to C.
Yeah, B going back and forward. They finally took down the one player, and they quickly rotated out towards C, so they've actually walked away much better than SK in the situation. However, with those 3 respawns coming in from the southern side on this map for SK, that kind of changes things here. Janssen's in a great spot if he can stay alive.
Yeah, and there's a big if. He's got the CZ in hand, which means he's going to be perhaps struggling at this longer range. Then again, Frod has come straight into his face, and look at that, the CZ does its thing, and I thought he was going to get the second. I got all excited, but no, he does get put to bed by the M416 of Frod. Obviously, a friend of punch rules.
Yeah, very similar in essence. And Frod showing you how it's done, gets the clean exchange. Not perfect, but it will keep that site in the hands of PKD for now. Now Janssen on the respawn, left in a bit of a tricky predicament. Does he go back in for that individual B play? Or does he switch up and go elsewhere? At the moment, PKD kind of being led around this map by SK. And I kind of want to see if I can hear what SK are up to. Let's give it another go.
Non.
One more, Nate, one more.
Attaque.
On peut avoir le C ou pas?
Ouais, on va l'avoir.
It's like a combination of French and English.
Yeah.
2, c'est -1. Ah, besoin d'aide, j'ai besoin d'aide.
On va pas, on y va pas, tant pis.
Prenez la jungle.
C'est vers le B, back B.
Sniper. J'ai besoin d'aide.
Back B dead.
Le HPC, un HP. Un B. Look jungle.
Ok, j'arrive.
I look jungle, okay?
Yep.
I take jungle.
Dead. Non, putain, il a un HPB.
So SK sounding pretty riled up, I've got to say, considering they're leading with 131 tickets. They're doing pretty good here, and let's bear in mind, the threshold for PKD is only 26, so it's not far to fall now.
No, yeah, they're already on 78, so take that away. They're looking pretty rough around the edges. So SK Gaming only losing 20 tickets. It's kind of impressive when you think about it. They've held on to at least a a 2-cap for a great majority of this game. C-Flag has gone over as well. They're rocking that trip cap. And PKD trying to stave off this bleed. I don't think they've got anything really in their arsenal. Nosy being pinned back in the trenches. Nades flying in towards him. He's actually forced to drop a med kit and just wait. And his teammate actually falls first. Still, that side goes down to that one. And as all of this is going on, as you can see, SK really just containing them. They're letting them have sight, but they're forcing PKD to fight for them. You can see Safe, he's trying to make his way towards B, and all SK are doing is ensuring that they can't get there without losing a couple of tickets.
Yeah, let's hear from the man himself. Let's tune in with PKD.
One play, get the
I got one BB.
One more got me. Go. C house.
Come on,
Open up
house.
C house. Yeah, of course it's in C
Yeah.
house.
Hit him. One down, see house upper.
One jungle house for sure.
I got 2 here. Come on. One more. You need to go for flag now.
Down.
Go for blue.
That's 3 down, guys. Come on. Yeah, but
Middle,
yeah.
middle. Yeah.
Frustration in the PKD camp, calls coming out. Safe saying it, but they're just not doing it. And those tickets are almost over on this map.
Yeah, come on. The last ticket is there. It is the first half coming to a close, and a fantastic start from SK Gaming.
Yeah, SK Gaming picking up the first map. Very nicely done. 26 tickets just kind of slipped away very quickly. SK looking good, but maybe not to the extent I expected. SK, I imagined, were going to be the prime team to be looking at for their performance, but didn't quite see it this game. They still picked up the victory, but I feel that was more PKD's slightly weak performance in comparison to SK's dominance. You compare it to what we witnessed from Fnatic, and it was a complete disparity.
Yeah, it was. I think we expect something like that from Fnatic. We should really be expecting something like that from SK. They're a team who, I mean, they ended at the top of the group. Nothing more can be said about that. They may have struggled perhaps in the group stage, but I mean, every single cup, they came consecutively in that top 3. I'm pretty sure it was like 3 out of 4 they won it. So that's a huge majority.
Yeah, and I kind of want to point what happened then as well. The thing with Safe was that he had 2 players, if not 3, trying to focus him down in those southern trenches. And while all that was going, the entirety of his team weren't even able to challenge on a flag. That's just poor insight and slightly behind the times play. You've got to be super quick on these sort of plays. You've got to be super up to date on it and know what you're doing. And he's just used to a team like MYM being able to take that initiative and run with it. Now playing with players who may not have that complete intuition there yet, that could change things. But however, Zavod used to be one of the strongholds for MYM. Maybe Safe can bring a little bit of an edge here towards the PKD side up against SK, who love this map.
Yeah, and that's SK's map. They know how to do on it, and they know how to press where it hurts. They're going to find out, expose PKD's weakness, and then constantly nag at that weakness until it overcomes them. You can see the lineups on your screens there. We saw great work from Safe. Also, we saw some top fragging from, I believe it was Jansen. He was doing some great work on that B site. So there are some PKD members I'm going to make sure I give some attention in map number 2. It is, of course, Zavon as we kick this one off. We have to get excited for both SK, if they can get this 2-0 sweep, but also PKD, can they bring it to a 3rd? As we kick this one off, Lauren, take us away at tabletop.
Yeah, looking at what they can do, they utilize the engineer class very briefly, but this is a unique gun running up from Frod. Strange usage of sight, so keep your eyes on him. But so far, we're seeing a sweeping, aggressive push from PKD, playing a standard style. But you can see the 3-man commitment from SK starting on the US side out towards A, and that was the defining French style that came in around the infamous era, around that sort of point that kind of made people play this map a little differently. However, they really don't have the foothold in towards A they probably want, so they're very weak on B. They only have 2 players challenging kind of 2 as well, but SK are left pretty much in the dumps here. They don't really have the site control they wanted, but I think Jansen just missed a player, and I think that's core there, just getting a bit of an easy way in towards this map, gets a respawn in, and that's going to completely throw off PKD.
That was a gift just given to them, saying, hey, take B, it's yours. The tickets do obviously represent PKD's advantage. However, it's we saw the same thing on Paracel Storm, and it was pretty short-lived. SK Gaming know how to fight back from a comeback.
They certainly do. PKD now at that 2-1. Players scrambling from SK to go towards B, but it's a bloodbath. They're sending them in 1v3, and I'm not sure I agree with this. This is just a waste of tickets. They've got to be way more smart with this. SK have made an error. However, that respawn is God's gift.
It is, and see if Hexus is a good follower. He's going to be hanging around trying to make a pick around middle, actually. He's not opting for the flag just yet. He knows that he has the element of surprise, or he had past 10th. He has been spotted out, and he's going to have to play for the regen. Only 3 HP to his name. He's going to be scraping the barrel with that one. In the meantime, Corey Hughes picked up where Hexus has failed, and it looks like him and Jika are working towards that trip cap.
Yeah, they certainly are, and they should at least get it for a while, but smart play from PKD going straight through mid, cutting off the reinforcements and the rotates from pretty much SK. They just need to get the kills to support that. Otherwise, they're going to get nothing out of this. And Nosy with brilliant work around the side. They should be able to retake on A, but actually he goes down. This could open up to even an extended 2-1. And look how aggressive SK are, cutting this map super in half, but super into their favor. They've got 3 players right at the front.
Yeah, cutting it into 3/4 more like. They're just taking as much as they possibly can. They're just locking them into that top A corner, and all it's doing is putting, once again, PKD on that back foot. They've made a move, though, on towards C. Safe kind of at the forefront of that. No surprises there with his kind of wiggly run. He knows what he's doing, as he's going to be trying to prowl around this C site. But he needs to make a move fast. You can see the AC hold is there for PKD, and if they can keep control of it, we'll listen in and see if they are as confident as they look.
Cap the flag, Jan. One down,
Stay safe, we don't know.
One more, and the thing is...
I go upstairs.
the trash in the middle.
B mid, B mid.
I saw the
flag
PK.
down. One more. On pipe as well. Nice,
Yeah.
guys, nice guys. One is going tunnel.
Tunnel down.
One more, core. I'm watching Seagate. I'm watching yard. Don't peek. 1 yard down.
One still middle.
One mid.
Guys, one still middle.
On B. What's going on? I'm
Be
watching
safe,
yard.
nobody be.
I don't have tunnel, by the way. One more. Yard. More. I got
That's
Seagate. They got me. One more yard. I need 2 yards.
Go for it, go for it.
I'm trying. Spawn on me.
PK, they're in, they're lower.
Spawn on me.
They're
Spawn
not
for
B.
C, spawn for it.
Temper. One stamper, yeah.
Don't face them, don't face
Taking
them.
random. Got back B spawn. We need to go for C.
Why not random? Oh, okay, never mind.
They will maybe...
So they've already outlined, we need to go for C. A doesn't seem to be an option for them, or at least not a group push. You can see Anozi's got that spawn. He's been gifted that one, and is going to opt for the A site. In the meantime, though, Outsider and Co, or make it just Co, is going to try and make a move towards that C flag. Looks like it's been shut down pretty quickly, and instead, they're going to look towards that A site.
Yeah, I think they need to play defensive on B pretty much, hold this down, and try and depend on Nosy who gets picked up. But he did get one respawn. Outsiders there. Is he really trying for a revive when he knows there's a player present? That's a little brave, to be fair, Nosy. I don't think he's going to get that one. Outsider does eventually do it. They pick up A, but at what expense? B is now vulnerable.
And this is where the rotations come really into play. Can they get to C quickly? And look at that sprint. SK hit that sprint key, dive back into the depths of C, because they know that they're going to be rotating through. And it looks like they're going to get there a little too late. Jansen making a move and making a play, double with the ACW, and that's huge. There is more defensive players to be found, though, and the hide-and-seek game ends violently as he goes down, and that BC hold still flying for SK.
Yeah, let's see how it's going down on the SK side.
Avancez-vous sur
On
B.
B.
One dead B.
Go to B.
B. Three on B.
Tunnel. No, middle.
Dead B.
Lobby.
2B flag.
Yeah, sector.
Nice, one more.
One down.
Nice. Nice.
Bien,
Two
bien,
dead.
bien.
In the C.
Fais point de fun. En contact. Sur flag,
C'est sur moi, les gars.
Dead B. One more B. Two more B.
Done.
I think there's been one more at B for the last 5 minutes, but they are dealing with it well. PKD overestimating how many people to reinforce on that side. B is not your main priority. It's a nice jump off, but C should have been the focus. But look how close those tickets are, 73 to 75.
Yeah, they're almost inseparable, and I don't know if that really says anything more than PKD are really good at starting, SK really good at finishing. I was about to say every game. We've only seen them in one game so far, to be fair to them. But yeah, on Paracel Storm, it was exactly the same case of of a really strong start from PKD, and then as SK hit their stride, they start to fall behind. SK already holding on to that A and B hold, and PKD's so good at defending.
Oh, this is nice.
Oh, it is. You're not wrong. Safe has gone there pretty much undetected. The random respawn is, once again, that gift that keeps on giving. Jansen is going to be spawning in on him, and that is the issue with Hysterias as well, because he is now left all alone. And respawn spent well, though, because Hysterias gets the frag. Can he get the revive as well? He's stacking up numbers beautifully. Look at the man go. 2 revives, 2 tickets saved, as well as the C site. That is PKD's potential.
Yeah, I doubted putting Jansen in that position then. I thought, why would you reinforce A? But then again, why not when one player can do the damage like that? And look how cheeky Hysterias being. He's even going to go challenge for a trip cap. What an absolutely gutsy play. And hell, he even gets one, slows him down. He does fall, but he's bought time. However, look at Hexus down below. If Outsider's not a bit of a magician, he's in trouble.
And he does favor this kind of basement play. He likes to come from beneath, and it works so well right in the backside of Outsider. He goes down. 3 players now swarming on that C flag, and it looks like we see a PKD member trying to make them pay on that B flag. This is all about flexibility, and it looks like Jansen has been doing his stretches.
Yeah, certainly has been. 2v2 now going down, 1v1 on A. C still in the hands of SK, so if they try and maintain on C, they'll never be able to equally match on these other sides. So one player has to pick up 2. Not going to happen. PKD break through on towards A. And hell, they may have just caught these 2 out in no man's land on towards B. Zika is in trouble. He's surrounded. He's got players moving in left, right, and center. PKD should be able to swarm this, but look at the reinforcements. SK's going back in.
They're bolstering their numbers. They really do not want to see that B site fall. 3 members from SK are going to once again make that hasty rotate towards that C flag. It's such an important one for them, but PKD have got there, and they're ready to receive them this time. Oh dear, so is Corey Yu. Gets the second as well onto Jansen. The AEK so good, and especially in the hands of a player with aim like him. Corey Yu standing out as well. 13 frags, top of that scoreboard alongside Hexus with 15. It's 47-42. Still, that ticket lead so insurmountable.
Yeah, and let's hear from the PKD guys as they're trying to work back in towards C.
I'm on C.
Oh, look at the left side, please.
He's coming, stay middle, guys.
3 guys coming to me.
One down, middle, one more. Taking random.
Down,
Okay,
down.
Nice! I'm get B. Get the line. I need backup on. There's one C. At the door.
I got B, it's okay.
On C? No, A.
Help. Hold it.
Don't go, shot. We need the respawn.
Stay B, respawn B, I go C.
C as well, C gate.
1 middle, upper middle going in.
Ah, he
2
got
under.
me.
They're
Upper
pushing C
middle.
hard. 2 under.
1 is left side B. He got me. Running on B.
Beat that. There's one.
Go away.
2 C.
Go away, spawn A.
In the pipe. A spawn.
B1 low.
Wow.
Safe is single-handedly trying to keep his team in this, but you can hear the frustration in his voice every now and then because he single-handedly got C. He got the rotator out towards B, who's going to do the back cap, and then he almost got A. This guy is trying everything he can, but the rest of his team really aren't making the impact I was kind of hoping they would.
Yeah, maybe not his entire team. I do have to credit Hysterias. Every time we've cut to him, he's been really doing... In fact, yeah, look at that, 17 frags. The guy has been really standing out to me, and you can see it once again, a 1v1 on this A site. Safe's been doing well in the past, but so has his teammate Hysterias. Hysterias around there as well. Going to be diving, or maybe going for the outside push instead, but still the tickets completely inseparable, 22-23. A and B are flying for SK though, and that's going to be perhaps suggesting that they may end up taking this first half with a very slight ticket lead.
Maybe. Just maybe. PKD, though, just get a cheeky pick up on B, and now they have players in position to hopefully weather the storm on towards C. This is probably going to be the final push. If they maintain a 2-1 for the next minute or 2, they've won it. However, this is the final play from SK to get back in this game.
Yeah, and they're going to have to be communicating pretty quickly because they've got to make a decision. It looks like they've set their hearts on B as they are in that middle kind of limbo between C and B. Looks like actually Outsider ready to defend on towards this C flag. And Nosy, the man to defend, he's actually going to have a lot of players pushing on towards him. Gets a second, surely not a third. The Magnum came out. Didn't quite come into anything magical, but Hysterias was there to pick up the pieces alongside Outsider. And now 17-5. It's all looking good in this first half. 17 tickets is going to be that threshold.
Yeah, PKD, what a turn of events. And those final seconds being in the right position at the right time, that was very well done. And that's going to mean the world to those boys. I've got to say, you could hear Safe from here, literally through the arena into the studio. That guy is ready for this game. He may not have individually had the highest kill score by any margin, but the kills he got were huge in that, as did Hysteria supporting him in that position, and then the smart play in the end. SK, however, a team tipped to possibly win this, should never walk away with a deficit.
No, you're right, they shouldn't. But I mean, watching that, I think I could easily see this going into map number 3. Map number 3 is, of course, Locker. It's a map I know both PKD and SK are good at. Yeah, I mean, looking at PKD, that's a team of people who can win 1v1s, and Operation Locker comes down to 1v1s, 2v2s. So,
sure.
Yeah, that's where I see this going. I do think we're going to see a third map. But whether that's me putting my faith in PKD or with me not putting my faith in SK, I don't know. But to me, watching how that first one went, I've got my eyes on PKD.
I have to as well. Let's put it this way, though. SK never looked comfortable or in control. They were constantly over-pushing, not playing smart. Whereas PKD just kind of exploited that every now and then. Don't get me wrong, there were some great individual moments where they just quickly rotated, played that smart game. But I'm not sold. I genuinely believe SK has more to bring to this. That's the bigger thing for me. They are the better side here on paper, but they're just not playing like it. Because they're meant to be a team who's up there with Epsilon right now, up there with your MYMs, up there with your Fanatics, and they're playing like they're in the losers bracket already.
Oh, yeah, you're spot on. SK, they haven't looked to be maybe on top form, I think is probably the best way of summarizing it. But, I mean, we say that, but then we also saw such a good first game from them on Storm. I think that they really did look to start as well as expecting from SK, because they are one of those teams that needs to warm up. It seemed like they didn't this time, and then we jump into Zavod, and, I mean, PKD play not a perfect game, but they play a really good game.
They certainly do, so keep your eyes on the main screen. You can already see him barking commands at Hysteria there. Those two really pulling the weight for PlanetKey Dynamics. Janssen, a veteran to this now, and Nosy the same, and Outsider. And SK, a lot of work to be done here, and I've got to say it, I would not be surprised to see this go to a third map unless SK suddenly wake up.
They need to wake up, and they need to do it quickly. We're jumping on in then to the second half of map number 2 here for the Battlefield ESL One finals. Let's get involved and see where they're pushing, as it looks like we're going to see a bit of a bloodbath on that B site.
Certainly are. Cross has been spotted. They know there's a minimum 2 players here. PKD still going for it with 2. There's 3, and this is the danger player out on the long flank here. Keep your eyes on Hexus. He can do the damage, but a passive beginning from SK, and they can get pushed here. That's a dangerous start. And Outsider comes in, opens up, and hell, Hysteria says, I want some of that action as well. They claim B, but there's the man I'm telling you to watch out for. TU did this before. He can go for the slow take on towards B, while the rest of the side of PKD push off too far.
Yeah, and it's so easy. It's an easy mistake to make because you're so... I mean, what? When does this happen? 1 out of 5 times you push, you capture B? It's a risk you probably you're not willing to take. You don't want to leave too many players and not opt for C. Instead, all it's done is cost the PKD side of things an easy B cap. Exis has single-handedly brought that one under control, and it just shows the power of one man.
Yeah, but now he is 1v2. Let's see how powerful he is. He's got 1. That's Hysteria down. But can he follow up onto the second? He knows there's more. He's playing smart. He's certainly one of the brains of the bunch here. But I'm not sure what he can do now. Overwhelming numbers coming in from SK. Secure the B site. But while all that goes down, A was captured. But Zika gets the back spawn and deals with it. This could be a trip cap if PKD don't deal with this soon.
Yeah, and the man to deal with it is going to be Safe. He's charging on in there now. Teammates either side, they're all going to be coming in from all angles. And that's kind of the best way to approach the A flag, sorry, through mid. You cannot approach it all from through this middle rubble area. It all ends in tears. Instead, Safe just looking to play the waiting game. They have A now. SK, sorry, have A, and they're looking to maybe recapture B. 3-1.
Yeah, not expecting this respawn. 3 players around the back here, and actually, it knows he's trying to fight it. He gets down 1, but Core just overpowers him. And this is going to be a 2-1 to SK, and I kind of want to hear how PKD are responding to this, because they're leading, but this is a fast exchange of sites.
I spawned at C.
Where do we go? BOA.
Oi.
He was in the back on the window. Safe. Middle.
Hey, they got me, C.
One green, 2 guys coming in C. 2 guys coming in C.
Did you get the guy behind A?
Right, he's still on A.
Down A.
Nice.
One more A.
Spawning at B.
A on the stairs.
Middle to A.
Low.
Focus, guys, focus. Focus,
Wait
guys.
for spawns, wait for spawns. Stop running.
Two guys A directly in the middle.
Who's stay B? Go on me. Go for C. Now we are just 2 guys.
Push me.
Easy.
Push me, push me.
Down. Nice.
Watch out, they're coming for B from A.
Go on.
Temper, 2 guys. They're holding
That's
A.
a split pushing. We need to split one.
B mid. Sneaky. Come on, guys. We need to go for 1 flag.
Go A.
2 guys on C. Wait for the respawn before you go on
He's
select.
still lower. Hey, operate, guys. He's coming tunnel now.
Guys, go.
2
for
guys
one sec,
lower
wait for
C.
respawn.
Hey, guys, we go together.
Frustration and a lack of direction really hurting the PKD side here.
Go together. It's the words kind of ringing in my ears as you can hear that they look to be crumbling a bit. SK so strong in these later periods of the game already, looking to kind of they did have a trip cap. A has been taken over, but still such strong play from SK when they hit that mid game.
Yeah, and I have to hit from their side just to keep it even. Let's see how it's going down on their team speak.
Je prends l'extérieur.
Ok, un tunnel. Je prends l'XTB.
Un mort. 2 morts.
Plateau.
L'XTB. I have outside. Focus inside.
Up tunnel, go.
Ok, push up.
One more. Above.
On me, B.
Voir si.
Plateau. Down.
Nice. Full team. I go A.
B. Again.
Ok, focus. I go A
On la
alone.
pause Fred là.
Là, Fayou. Oh, là. 2.
Pas 2.
Pas la cam.
Ça spawn là.
Nice. Focus. La cap là.
Yeah, keeping it clean. That is a big disparity between comms there.
Yeah, I mean, that's so evident. You can see, I mean, just listening to them, if we showed them to kind of a sample audience and ask who was winning, you'd know. I mean, the team that's communicating better, the team that, well, they sound obviously like they've got smiles on their faces, but still 115 to 61, and SK show no signs of giving in. That 17 ticket advantage from the first half is going to mean nothing unless PKD step up and head towards one of these 2 sides. They were struggling to decide on. When we were tuning in, they were like, hey, you want to go A or B? Like, they couldn't make their minds up, and they need to make that decision 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's the lack of a leader in game. They need someone to make that decisive call to say, all right, guys, we're going B, we're going A, watch the rotate, do whatever it is that they need, because at the moment, they are struggling for anything. They have the B flag, which is fine. And finally, PKD have a chance towards C, but Core is still there. Packs away. Just waiting, maybe some respawns, waits for the numbers to come in and then push together. That's the difference between a well-rounded team and a bit of a talented mix. They've been able to control the threat on C while keeping A at least in hand, sending Zaya out there and cutting through mid to make sure no one's on that fast rotate. As you said, that 17 ticket lead, that advantage that, well, PKD had is kind of worthless right now.
Yeah, it shows so little of how this game has gone because SK have just stepped it up. I mean, not even a gear, 2, 3, 4 gears. They've really just brought it out to a whole new level as they're approaching this, the end of perhaps of this game. It's not all over yet, though. That B site is under contention. You can see PKD stacking numbers up against them, trying to find the man. It was a Hexis, actually, who did go down eventually by the AEK. And now 109 to 36, finally trying to stave off that bleed. And PKD, for the first time in a while, do hold 2 of the 3 sites. We'll see how long they can keep hold of this, though, as Outsider is forced to the outside area of A.
Yeah, hopefully he can live up to his name, but he's on the long rotate round, trying to pick up maybe one on the flank, but it is Frod who does find him, but SK left C completely open, so PKD gonna head out there, gonna find that one as well, exchange the A for C flag. Certainly something you'll want to pick up there, as B and C complement so well as a defending team. So Hysteria now knows players coming in from the eastern side. He picks up Zaya, goes for a second, he gets the tag, but can't get the kill. And SK back on the front here, trying to pressure C.
Oh, they're trying their hardest. 96-32. Hip fire from Jika picks up a double. Core EU trying to do something, but he just gets shut down once again. That C site has been a real interesting one, actually. Instead of seeing that kind of battle above, it's all down below in the basement area. Suddenly, Jika's with another double. This guy can't be stopped right now. Finally extinguished by Nosy with a double of his own. As all of this begins to settle, it looks like PKD emerge victorious as the revives come in from Nosy.
Yeah, Hysteria once again playing a stellar game. 15 to 10 for him. What a standout performance, but still, that's not enough to win you a game. And SK have enough time to now put all their numbers back together, kind of rethink where they want to head towards. And it looks like they might try and re-hit on towards C. They tried the eastern push, didn't work well. Let's see what they go for this time, as Hysteria might have to back over towards B.
might. I think he will. Oh no, no chance for that. He goes down immediately as we cut to him. Core EU, the man behind the frag. And now 77 to 24. PKD, that 17 ticket advantage just seems like such a distant memory. I mean, this is a whole new SK. They've already got the advantage. And unless PKD really pull their socks up, try and keep that A site perhaps under wraps now as they look to be capping that one over. Are they going to be able to control this B site as well? Maybe going to go for the AC hold, which works, Lauren. It does.
Right now they need anything to be fair for PKD. They can't be fussy. They do have A. They look like they've got C. Hysteria just closing it out with Janssen there. So they picked up, but they lost a lot of tickets in that process. They're going to have to respawn in a lot of players. So as much as this is getting closer, PKD had to be playing this game about 10 minutes ago, even though this half's only 8 minutes long so far. But you know what I mean. Nosy there nicely spots out a couple on the respawn. They should be able to send forces out to B, but they're being slow on it, and that's a problem here. They're going to be overwhelmed at A. They're going to be held at a 2-1, and no one is there to retake this or reclaim it. And at the end of the day, these 16 tickets are going to fall unless Safe gets the 2-1. He doesn't do it, and SK might have almost done this one.
Yeah, you're right. They've got about one push in it. Right to left, sorry. They have one push left. PKD are going to have to do something. As you can see, SK Gaming are looking to pick this one up in a 2-0 sweep. This is their first upper bracket appearance, and SK looking to be as dominant as they have been offline. 7 tickets remain in the PlanetKey bank. They've got so little to show for it. Corey Yu rubbing salt into their wound with a frag onto a nosy, and you can see SK Gaming so clinical in the second half. They may have looked weak in the first, but they have cleared their name as we are in this second half now. And I mean, it's a real strong performance from the French team. PKD, they've looked strong. They've had their moments, but right now, it's all coming up for SK as the final ticket is ticking away.
Brilliant performance from SK. They have to be happy with that one. A little shaky at the start, but then that second half, as you said on Zavod, a real kind of confirmation that they are here to play and they are a solid team. Whereas PKD, moments of genius, moments of brilliance, but then it faded very quickly with a lack of communication and a little bit shaky on some of their plays there. I feel that if they want to get themselves through this one, they're going to have to tighten up on all fronts. Mostly how they communicate, who is in-game leading, get that sorted and you might stand a chance.
Yeah, I think that's the big deal. I think you need to sort out the leader, because even, I mean, the fact that we can cut into comms is actually a big deal. I mean, the fact that we could hear and see, well, we couldn't see, that's a complete porcupine, but the fact that we could hear Safe going, where are we pushing? What are we doing? It's almost like he wanted to say things, but it wasn't his role.
Job to do
it wasn't
yeah.
what the role he was assigned, and so he was quite rightfully not stepping in and not overruling. But all in all, I think that was an issue with PKD's communication that ended with SK taking that one.
Yeah, it really was. PKD can fix that, but they have to do it fast. There's a lower game coming up, which they need to be absolutely on point for. But you've got to say, just all in all, SK look like they're getting better, but I'm not sure if I'd say they're good enough to beat Fnatic.
Not at the moment. I don't think so. I mean, Fnatic, when I was watching them play, I was fortunately able to just sit there in the crowd and watch that one, and it was evident that they have kind of returned to former glory. I know we doubted them online, but whenever we doubted them online, it usually was followed by us going, but. And there was a big but.
Yeah, there always is like, and blah, blah, blah. But then let's break it down this way. Infamous or PKD?
PKD.
Really?
Yeah, I'd say it. I'd say it. I thought that was a great play from PKD. I was impressed very much so by the performance in the first half. But let's find out even more with Paul with that post-match interview.
Thanks, Alex. Yes, cool. Congratulations. Good win. Let's start by talking about the match, and then we'll talk about you and SK and Fnatic and all that kind of crazy stuff. First of all, it looked a little bit shaky on the first game. Talk us through it from your point of view.
I think we needed to get a good warm-up. I think that was maybe one of the problems, and maybe they surprised us a little bit with, they were playing really smart and aggressive, and they caught us off guard on Paracel at the beginning. But I think we restored nicely, and especially the second round, we played pretty good.
Zavol was much better, much more like you've played during the regular season as well. And you've had such a great regular season. 3 cup wins, you've looked really great, signed by SK Gaming. It's all going brilliantly, but it doesn't mean anything unless you bring the trophy home this weekend. So how much pressure is there on you guys to perform?
I would say, I think we are all just like calm and focused on the game. I don't think there's a lot of pressure on us at all. We just play the game, and that's what we're going to do. We're focusing on winning, and
Okay, and how about yourself fitting in with the team? Is everything going well?
In the beginning, I had to get used to their game style because it's very aggressive, but I like it a lot, and I think I shoot in pretty good.
Yeah, it's definitely a very aggressive style. We talked about it a little bit earlier on today. Just how different it is and how in your face it always is, and how terrifying it can be for even a team like PlanetKey Dynamics, who are also can be very aggressive as well. Why is it working now when it didn't work perhaps 2 seasons ago, do you think?
Well, a lot of stuff has changed in the game. I don't know. I think it's more like every team is playing like lines, especially in the beginning. They have tactics and their lines. And now the game is getting more dynamic, so you can do stuff like this. Like you will see still teams doing a line in game, and you will see teams, being aggressive, and both works.
Yeah, it does seem to work, and it's much more fun to watch as well than it maybe was 6 months ago, even when it was good. But it's even more fun now for us as viewers.
It's a lot of fun to play like that. Yeah.
So let's look forward. Your next match, you've got a little bit of a break now because we have the elimination match. But then you play Fnatic. It's an old rivalry that goes back many, many years, dozens of years already now, between SK and Fnatic. Are you aware of that kind of history between the two teams? And does it affect you in any way, or do you just think, it's just another game?
To me, it's just another game. We're going to focus again and do our best, and hopefully we can show Fnatic that we are also someone they should not put away.
Just how big a team are Fnatic right now? The defending champions, obviously. We know what they did in the summer. We know what they did in the earlier on in the season as well. But recently, people have been saying, they're out of practice, they're playing other games, not maybe as focused. But they destroyed in that first game. They look pretty good. So does that worry you at all, or are you just literally concentrating on the match?
We're just focusing on what we're going to do and not what they are doing and how they are doing. We just play the game, and that's it.
Okay, well, good luck. Congratulations on making it through to the winners' final. We're going to take a quick break now, but when we come back, the elimination game will be upon us. A first team from Group B will be going home.